It's 101.9 The Mix, McCabe and Jenny in the Mix New Music Club. And today we have singer-songwriter from Chicago, Wyatt Waddell. How are you?
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
Doing good. Thanks for being here. Did you have to travel far to come to our studios?
Oh, no, I just had to take one bus. 147.
All the
Not
way
telling you from where, though.
Oh.
Tricked you, didn't I? No, I hail from Andersonville.
Nice. What got you into music? Why did you decide to get into all of this?
I don't know. There are sounds that have been in my head since I was a kid. You know, I needed an avenue to kind of express them, and so music was kind of the way. My grandmother, she taught me, just the basic lines and spaces on the piano and stuff like that. And she was like, "You're the fastest grandchild to learn out of all the 6 grandchildren." But yeah, it just was in my life throughout the years. It's always just been under my nose, but I never really thought to pursue it until high school. I used to go to Shy Arts, which is a school up in Humboldt Park. Save Shy Arts, by the way. But I used to do theater over there. But I used to have my guitar in class because I always wanted to, learn about older music. Because I've grown up with older music, whether it was on the radio or my mom was listening to it, or my dad would be playing it on the speakers. Or I'd be going with my grandparents to the CSO sometimes. Well, it's just a whole influx of things, and then you mash it all together at 16, 17, and then mix it with a little Beatles, Billy Joel, and all the other people, and you get a person that really wants to do music.
Nice.
Were you the only grandchild making music, or just the most talented one?
I wouldn't say the most talented. Like, my sister was always into violin lessons as a kid, and she would always, be doing things where she was singing. And I never really got into it. She was mainly, my sister Jamila, she's like mainly the singer. But I started singing, I think, at 13. And I just kind of started building it from there. I didn't really start getting confident singing until I was like 16, 17. And then I don't consider myself good until a couple of years ago. I think good in the sense of like, having control over your voice, and just thinking about what you're doing, that considers good. But there are other relatives that could sing too. My oldest sister, Sydney, could sing also. My mom can sing. My dad says he can sing, but I've never really heard him sing before. He says he sang in a choir, but yeah.
When you're a teenager and you're just getting started, are you busking, or what are you doing to kind of elevate your career?
Well, it's mainly not outside stuff. It's mainly going inwards and finding out what you want to do. I mean, for me, it was like the will to do it and the drive to do it, and seeing like concert footage of some of my favorite artists. Like, just doing a lot of studying and doing a lot of searching before I start showing the talent out there. Like, I spent a lot of high school, or the latter half of high school, just writing lyrics and learning guitar in the back. And like, there were people kind of noticing, but I didn't do it for the notoriety. I just did it to, realize that see that I'm alive. And like, when I was a kid, I always wanted to play guitar. And by the time I was like 16, I was grappling chords and stuff. And I was like, all right, I'm telling my younger self, hey, we learned guitar, and I'm telling my 16-year-old self, we're on, what's this? 101.9 The Mix.
Well, in breaking down some of your lyrics, there's one that stuck out to me, and it's, she used to call me baby, and now she won't call me at all. I'm like, that just hits.
When you're into somebody that really has an effect on you, and they kind of drop you out of nowhere, like it can be surreal, those moments where, you have that person's affection, and then all of a sudden you don't. It's very simple, but it's very like blatant. It's like, she used to call me baby. Like, the lines before got that 5-star grand pushover.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, my cousin used to give me like 5-star, like heart pat on them. He's like, hey, Car, you want a 5-star? I'm like, what is that? And then he's just, boom, 5-star.
Like on your back, he'll come up and just slap you in the back.
I'm like, ah! And that's how it felt, and that's kind of the wall that breaks in between the used to call me baby, and now she won't call me at all. It's heartbreaking, but at the same time, you get a song out of it. So,
has she called since?
Huh?
Has she called since the song?
No, not really.
All right.
It's all good though.
What inspires your music? Is it personal experiences? Do you kind of create this story in your mind?
It's a mix of everything. It's people usually ask what comes first, like the lyrics or the melody or the chords. I think it's all like your subconscious grabbing things from different parts of your life and things that you've listened to, and just mashing them all together in some sort of way. But the universe, I feel like, gives it to you in sort of like a riddle, and you only solve that part, but then you have to come up with the rest of the parts. It already exists somewhere else, but I feel like I am kind of a vessel to bring the whole song through, no matter how long it takes.
Well, right now we have a chance to see you. You've been doing some shows at Dorian's, which is a very cool spot. I've been there once, and you walk through a record store to get into this small, intimate little venue. How did you team up with Dorian's, and tell us how the shows have been going?
Well, I've known about Dorian's for a minute. I've had friends that have performed over there, and I've always wanted to do it. And when I linked up with Empire, I got signed to them in April. So when I linked up with them, they were asking, what kind of venues would you like to perform at? Like fairly small venues that could, pack up. And I was thinking Dorian's. And so they hit up the people at Dorian's and were like, yeah, let's do a Wyatt residency. And I've never performed at Dorian's before, and I sold it out the first 2 nights, which is
crazy.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you still have one more coming up.
Another one. Yeah,
Another
more.
one. Can you tell
October
us?
20th.
Yeah. Can you tell us about it?
Well, it's going to be the first show that I perform as a 29-year-old, because my birthday is on Friday.
Happy birthday!
Happy early birthday!
Yeah, it'll be surreal, but I think it'll be a really good show. It's gonna be old stuff. It's gonna be new stuff. I got a couple of new songs that I'm circling around.
Like as in they're finished, or you haven't performed them yet?
I've performed them a couple times, but they're still freshly new. They're not recorded. A lot of the songs that I have performed, they're mainly recorded, and I do some covers and stuff like that.
Now, is there going to be like a full body of work at one point that you want to put out?
Yeah, there's a plan for a full body of work coming out soon.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned some of your musical inspirations. Do you incorporate that sound into your music? Is it a blend of everything? Because you've got such a unique style that's not really out there right now.
I'm influenced by a lot of classic artists like the Beach Boys and Stevie Wonder, and the band is one I've been getting into in recent years. The Beatles are like my favorite, though. There's always endless things that I'm getting from them, especially their stories, like the way that their stories come about. Like before I even knew a lot about their songs, like I looked up 100 greatest Beatles songs, and then I saw the stories that had to happen behind them, and I'm like, wow, I kind of want these stories. Like influences, like even to the Osmond Brothers, and the Jackson 5, and like even to Sesame Street. Like I love Sesame Street is a big part of my life.
Big Bird, or
it's just the songs. Big Bird. I love Big Bird, but I think my personality is kind of like Ernie in a way.
Okay.
But like even the songs from there, and like the chord movements, and just the way certain instruments are set up, like it doesn't matter sometimes where I can get the influence. It mixes in, and if I hear it in the music, I can recall back to where I can't recall back to where I heard it from until I finish the song. So,
and can we just put out there in the universe that at some point you are going to be on Sesame Street performing?
I would love to. I would actually, like, my fallback if music didn't work, I would tell myself I wanted to be a puppeteer on Sesame Street or work for the Jim Henson Company.
You could go to Los Angeles. They have the studios over there. That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Or like go to New York for Kaufman Astoria. That's where they filmed Sesame Street too. So that's one of my all-time goals, to hug Big Bird. Very wholesome on here, but hey.
We're going to make that happen, Sesame Street.
Right? Where are some of your favorite local venues that you like to perform or go see performances?
Well, I don't really get out anymore. I stay home, just like the song. I should have stayed home. But when I do go, I love to go to a small place in Wicker Park called the Red Room. Friends Joe and Corey run it, and Paul. They're all doing great stuff over there. They're doing small local shows. It's next to a place called Club Lucky. Really good ribs. Gotta have them ribs. If you know, you know.
Well, I was gonna say, like, yeah, do you have a favorite restaurant? But
restaurant.
That could be.
There's also the Green Mill is pretty cool. I usually do an acoustic thing sometimes over there for a program called The Paper Machete. Okay. They have different comedians. It's a variety show. Like they have Chad the Bird, if you know about Chad the Bird, a puppet. Okay. But they have different comedians and different performers doing stuff. Lincoln Hall is a great venue. I like the Metro. I recently saw Hiatus Coyote at Aragon. Mm-hmm. Not Aragon. What was it? It's across the street from Green Mill.
Okay.
The Vic Theater.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
was gonna say.
Yeah, the Vic Theater. And I like that venue. I love really big venues. You can really hear the sound. I like the Salt Shed too.
Yeah, that's
really
good.
good.
Yeah, in the summer times and the winter time, great spot.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about your socials because they are so entertaining to watch. Are you the creative behind your videos that you do?
Yeah.
How did you think to do? I don't even know what you call that. They're just a bunch of like jump cuts
It's
of
just
you
compilations
like moving.
Yeah. But I think it was just mainly friends and colleagues egging me on and being like, "Yo, Wyatt, you do a lot of voices. You need to put this stuff on the internet." And I'm like, I don't know. It's just. But the way the internet and the world is working today, people are always on TikTok and people are always on social media, ingesting videos or making videos. And I'm like, why would I put my stuff into the void and like have nobody look at it? But I just, some friends are like egging me on to take a chance, and I started making videos of, me just doing my everyday loud stuff, annoying, quote unquote, annoying my roommates, which my roommates aren't really annoyed by the voice. I haven't really gotten much noise complaints from my roommates. Not surprisingly,
it's entertaining to watch. Yeah. So
I've gotten some from across the street. This neighbor who's bothered by my guitar playing.
You have people in your apartment who aren't, but the neighbor across the street.
Oh no, I live in an apartment filled with artists.
Nice.
So they understand. Okay. My roommate has like speakers that he plays his vinyl on next to my room. So I wake up from naps and he's playing, different types of music. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I make noise and then I put it on the internet, and some of the videos get traction. Like there was some John Mayer video or like a Tina Turner video, or Michael McDonald. That's one that's getting me recently.
Okay.
Well, I mean, keep doing that. But this year you've been staying busy with new music. Obviously, you got the show at Dorian's, and this year is kind of coming to an end. What do we have in store for 2026 for you?
So at the end of, I think one of my last shows in November is at the Beat Kitchen. Mm-hmm. My friends Denzel Lavelle and Josh and Dell, really dope musicians in the music scene too. In 2026, hopefully an album comes out. Hopefully we get a full-on project going. So visuals and things of the like.
We're looking forward to that. How can people keep up with you? What are your social handles?
I'm mainly on Instagram and TikTok. Wyatt Waddell 4. I think that's my Instagram. Wyatt_Waddell 4. That's my Insta. My TikTok is Wyatt Waddell. Like you can just look up the name. I don't know. I just look up names on Wikipedia and stuff.
Awesome.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to come by today. We look forward to everything you have for the rest of this year and next year. But again, Wyatt Waddell, thank you for stopping by. 101.9.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Woo-woo.